Avast, ye mateys, and welcome aboard the Talltale Tavern, the monthly one-shot TT RPG podcast. I'm your host, the Dread Pirate Scott, and I'm pleased to be helping bring you a special bonus pirate adventure this month. An adventure so special that I, in fact, won't be playing in it because it's Women's History Month, and we are honoring it the only way we know how here with a ladies only one-shot. Joining you at the bar will be Queen of Sarcastic Comments and a pirate who says she's definitely more likely to steal your snacks than your treasure, my wife, Celia.
Hello. Hello.
Celia, please tell us the name of your character and class.
My character's name is Cal and would be reborn, correct?
That's the species. Yeah, give me species and class. So species, reborn, class.
Oh, swashbuckler rogue.
Way to go. She nailed it.
Nailed it.
Next up, what do you mean I need to write an intro? I thought you said we were running a private adventure. Natalie is here.
Hello.
Welcome back, Natalie. Give me that character, class, species, whatever.
Hi, I'm playing Daisy Moonshade, who is an Eladrin life cleric.
Wonderful. I look forward to learning more. Next up, ready to get hooked on the pirate lifestyle, it's Brooke.
Hello.
Welcome back, Brooke.
Thank you so much.
Please tell me everything there is to know about your character that you can squeeze in like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I did send Becca like a whole sheet, but in 10 seconds, her name is Ren Leaderheart. She is a Minotaur Barbarian, Path of the Totem Warrior, and she is the Wolf Totem Spirit.
Ooh, a bull wolf.
Yeah, bull wolf.
Next up, apparently she streams on Twitch weekdays, but tonight I hear she's made up a character for the birds. Noah Polly G's from this raucous parrot of the Caribbean. Find her on twitch.tv/Tiddly if you can feather this kind of content. Welcome back to the show, Tiddly. Wow,
That was great. That was great.
Great intro. Please tell us about your character.
Well read. I am playing, if you didn't ascertain from the intro, I am playing a parrot, and my parrot is a Kenku, and I'm playing a Circle of the Sea Druid. And her name is Ringo.
Sounds like she's going to be a real star. Last but not least, the leader of this mutinous lot kicking me off me own show. Hoping not to bring crit energy against her players, your DM for the evening, Becca the Croat Goat Essig.
Gross. I hate you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm so glad you're leaving.
Perfect. And on that note, I will leave and you can take it away from here, Becca.
In the heart of the Sword Coast of Faerun, in the small town of Daggerford, along a busy downtown street squeezed between the shops of a tailor and a florist, like an old dusty book forgotten amidst the others on the shelf, rests the Talltale Tavern. A place of truth and of lies. Grab a drink of any size and listen to the wisdom of the wise in this place where the ink never dries. This is where we find ourselves tonight, sitting around a worn wooden table with the smell of books and brandy in the air, when the front door opens like the turning of a page, and in walks a half-troll man. He ducks his head at the last minute to avoid hitting it on the frame, and nervously looks around the room for a second, before his eyes fall on the small, empty table in the corner with a sign that says, "Reserved for the Talltale Tavern Book Club." He walks over to the bar and carefully situates his much too big body on the much too small bar stool. He cautiously smiles at the barkeeper and then, with another glance over at the reserved table, says, I saw the flyer the other week. Tonight is my first meeting. I think I'm a little early. The barkeeper glances at his watch. Oh, just a bit. You can wait at the bar until the others arrive if you want. Should be here in a couple hours. A few minutes pass, and then the half-troll looks around the room again. No story tonight? Not so far. Haven't had any in the last few days, actually. Bit of a lull. The half-troll orders a cup of tea and smiles graciously when the barkeeper serves it in a sturdy stew bowl instead of a fragile small teacup. Well, I could tell a story. I mean, it's not really mine. My sister told it to me, but it's really good. It's about these pirates who find... Wait, let me start at the beginning. And thus begins Dead Men Tell No Tall Tales. Roll the intro! 19 years ago, 15 miles northwest of Fireshare City. It's cold, but it's always cold here. Even in the peak of summer, the air takes on a bite once the sun sets. Snow gently falls, slowly adding to the blanket that already covers the ground and the rooftops of the mining camp nearby. The camp is burning. Screams fill the air as people rush to find loved ones and escape the flames that continue to grow and spread. A few metal clangs sound out as the last few rebels try to make a dent in the Merchant Prince's massive army. Horse hooves thunder by as soldiers continue to light more buildings on fire, an act of force and punishment against the small community of rebel sympathizers. But you hear none of it. Your ears are filled with the sound of the rushing of your own blood. Your nose has stopped registering the smell of smoke, and your eyes weave in and out of focus. Your body is shutting down, cutting off your senses one by one in one last attempt to save itself. Brooke, please describe what Ren looks like as she lays in the snow.
She is a pretty large Minotaur. She's got like brown fur and skin. It's kind of like a ambery or like maroony type color. She's got all of her gear on her, her breastplate, all the insignia from her rebel alliance. She's got a tattoo on her hand to signify that she's part of that group. And I'm guessing she's pretty bloody at this point and just trying to figure out if it's worth getting up again.
Ren rests between two old crates. You meant to only pause for a moment, just long enough to tie a compress around a particularly deep stomach wound. But the world spun, and as you lost more blood, in a blink, you found yourself in the snow, staining it red. You take a shallow breath, promising yourself you'll rise to continue the fight in a moment, when a shadow passes over you. You've been found. An unknown human man holding a long cutlass stands before you. What do you do?
How far away is he from me?
He's like right there.
On me?
Yep.
I attempt to get up.
All right. Give me a Constitution saving throw, just to see how kind of quickly you can force yourself up.
Okay, that is a 22.
Nice. So adrenaline kicks in. You feel this surge. You are basically in survival mode. You have been for a while, but a last-ditch adrenaline surge kicks in and you get to your feet. It is your turn.
I'm going to swing at him.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. 17?
17 hits. Go ahead, roll some damage.
Okay. I guess DM question. Do I have my awesome blood axe?
When did you get it?
Probably not this young. I probably don't. Okay. 14 damage.
Okay. You hear the man kind of curse out and go, "What the hell?"
I have 2 attacks.
Go for it.
Okay. 21. So I'm going to hit again.
Hits.
But that is only 7 more damage.
Okay. Yeah, he takes it. And you do like a big gash across his arm. And then you see him swing out, and he does this like really elegant maneuver. So he's actually he doesn't leave your area of effect, but kind of dashes around behind you. And Does a 22 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay. You feel not the cutlass itself cut into you like you're kind of expecting, but you feel a slam on the back of your head. And before the world goes black, you hear, "Rest, fierce one. There are many battles to come." And you feel yourself drifting in and out of consciousness over the span of what you'll later learn was days. Roll me a perception check and then a history check, and we're actually going to use the average of them together.
Okay.
See how much you remember.
Okay,
And
perception's
we're able
good.
to take in.
Right. That's an 18 for perception.
Cool.
And that's a 15 for history.
Okay, cool. Your memories of those days are faint, but you revisit them often. The man carrying you back to his ship, his scaly leather armor scratching against your wounds, making you flinch. The way the wind had picked up as soon as you left the ruined village, stinging against your face. And his kind, warm brown eyes flecked with green, watching over you as you healed, promising you'd fight another day. 7 months ago, Moran City. The streets are in a temporary lull. The large port city bustles during the day with a constant stream of ships entering and leaving its docks. In an hour or so, people will flock to the local taverns and bars to hear stories from the visiting travelers over a glass of imported wines or ales. But right now it's quiet. Gravel crunches under the feet of a lone figure as they walk along the sea road, headed home. Street lanterns light the figure's way, dotting the roadway with golden circles. As they step from a shadow, the overhead lantern's light illuminates their elven features. Natalie, can you describe what Daisy looks like as she walks home tonight?
Right. Yeah, so Daisy is an Eladrin. She's got very sharp, angular features and sort of golden hair that's in quite tight braids with a few stones woven into them. Pretty much just to keep it out of the way, like a tight bun at the back. You can't really see what she's wearing because she's wearing a cloak, sort of a leather cloak over top of it to keep herself a little inconspicuous. She doesn't really want to draw too much attention on the docks.
Your eyes are tired after a day spent studying at the temple. You rub the bridge of your nose, mulling. You tried to not feel discouraged after yet another day with no answers. You learned things. That's what mattered. But they weren't the right things. Give me a perception check.
That would be a 21.
Awesome. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the glint of metal as the street lantern catches on a long curved blade resting on the hip of a shadowed figure about 20 feet away, kind of like tucked a little bit in like the alley, just kind of resting against a wall.
So I just sort of see the blade. I don't see.
Yeah, you don't see much of like the actual person. You know
Right.
that it's a humanoid. They have a blade of some sort, probably from the size you would guess, probably male, but that's about all you can see.
Right. I'm going to put my hand on my amulet, which is my holy symbol, and sort of inch a little closer, like just preparing myself to. Something tells me that I want to get closer, but I'm not gonna rush into this. Yes. Yeah.
You hear a voice speak. You know, if I didn't know you were such a talented magic user, I'd be tempted to lecture you on the safety of walking alone after dark. As the figure steps forward, the lantern light makes the green flecks in his eyes dance and the golden hues of his massive beard sparkle. I'm fairly certain your parents and I have given you safety talks before, so the least you could do is pretend to listen to your dear old uncle, Bronzebeard. He looks the same as the day you met him 40 years ago. You and him are about the same size now, but he still manages to engulf you in a big hug.
Oh, hi, Bronze. It's been way too long. How are you?
The familiar smell of sea breeze after a storm immediately makes you feel like a little girl again. I didn't mean to stay away so long, Daisy Dew. How are you doing? How are your parents?
Oh, What can't be cured must be endured. We have to go day by day. They're doing okay. Nothing serious has happened, but I'm worried that it's going to get worse. I've noticed the incidents have become a little more frequent, a little more strong.
You haven't been able to find anything, or?
No, every day I'm spending researching the books that I can find, requisitioning things from out of town, seeing what I can do with the patients who are at the temple, speaking to whoever I can. But this seems to be out of my skill set, no matter what I try.
Well, and he kind of he puts an arm around your shoulder and starts walking you, continuing on down your path towards the apartment you keep with your parents. You know, I don't have anything that I can help with right now, but we travel all over the place. We see a lot of powerful people. We were able to bring Ringo back. Maybe you could come with us, see what you could find on the seas.
I'm hesitant to leave them, but I'm not sure the answers will be here. And you were there with us at the start, so maybe coming with you, I could find some answers. I'll have to face the sunrise with an open heart.
Well, at least for right now, let's go talk to your parents, get a nice dinner in, and we'll make some plans together. You don't have to do it by yourself. 37 years ago, approximately 150 nautical miles west of Baldur's Gate, your wings are aching. You guess you've flown about 40 miles already that day, considerably more than you've ever normally tried, but you haven't seen land since you left the small island early in the morning. Apart from a brief rest on some flopsum, you've been flying all day, searching for another island, hoping you are headed towards the mainland. You've spent the last 4 months on the large island of Snowdown after being blown so far off course by that freak wild magic storm. It had only taken you a couple days to recover from the exhaustion of fighting to stay airborne in those intense winds, but you then spent months trying desperately to unwild shape. But you're stuck. Unable to communicate, unable to scream for help, stuck in a body that isn't your own. When the panic subsided, you determined that your best bet was that you had to get back to mainland. There are amazing healers in Faerun. Certainly they can help. Tiddly, what does Ringo look like in this moment?
So Ringo is in wild shape, and Ringo is a classic parrot. So bright colors like red, green, blue. Ringo is not looking very good right now, though, because Ringo has been through it. So, a couple, feathers are tattered and kind of dingy from, hasn't really had a chance to hydrate. So kind of bedraggled and weary, I would say, but colorful.
So you started to fly towards the rising sun this morning. The first 3 days of travel, you'd been able to kind of hop between islands, resting as needed, but today was filled with nothing but open water. Ringo, give me a perception check.
Okay, 26.
You guys are rolling awesome. I like this. Yeah. I like this energy.
Yeah, the Kenku actually
cool.
gave me a couple extra things, and perception was one of them. And actually,
nice.
It makes sense because the Kenkus are very, they have really good memory. So, sense. Okay.
Yeah. You continue to fly a bit longer. Your shoulders are screaming, but you try your best to tune them out. The sun has begun to set, casting a brilliant golden glow around you. It's difficult to see as the light glints off the water below you, but suddenly the sun dips behind a small cloud, your vision clears, and you spot a ship only about 40 feet away from you. What do you do?
Well, at this point, I'm looking for any respite possible because I am really tired. I'm really hungry. I've been going at it by myself for days with no aid. So I'm going to cautiously approach and circle around and make sure that it looks safe. But like
Cool.
my intent is to try to find help, essentially.
Awesome. So you kind of do that like circle around the ship, kind of scoping things out. You see a group of sailors, all of various species, ages, and outfits, doing chores on the deck of the ship. A human man is enthusiastically telling a story while he polishes the railing. There I was, naked as the day I came into the world, facing down 100 men. And you see him turn and look at a very flamboyantly dressed elderly dwarven woman. I told you they were pieces of shite, only allowed men in their armies. And then back to everyone else. I looked everywhere for a way out, but nothing. So I stood up tall and puffed out my chest, and I took on the entire army of Dorvendaro. You youngins may only know it as Settlestone. Go ahead, give me a history check.
Sure.
It's a little high, but yeah, give me a history check.
My history is terrible, but I got a 19 anyway.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
That's really surprising.
So you know of Settlestone, kind of by name. It is inland up north, just south of the Kingdom of Many Arrows, so pretty far north, like in the middle of Faerun. And it used to be a Dwarven settlement until the army was wiped out a few hundred years ago. And now it's inhabited by barbarians.
Okay.
So that's kind of what you see and hear as you are scoping it out.
Okay, well, I have limited choices, and assessing no obvious danger, I'm going to go and land on the deck.
So as you kind of land, go ahead, give me like an acrobatics just to see how, because you're so exhausted.
I'm
to see
tired.
how elegantly you hit this deck.
11. Yeah.
Okay, this makes sense. You have been flying, and I actually did research how far a parrot can fly in a day.
That's amazing.
This is the upper limit. So you've hit that, and you kind of do like one of those skin thumps, but you land on the deck, and you do draw attention of the crew. The man pauses his story, and he turns and he notices you. His face is sun-kissed, and the golden hour makes his eyes look like they're colored bronze, like a brilliant, sheening metal. Goodness, you look exhausted, little one. However did you get so far out to sea? And then he briefly scans the horizon as if looking for any nearby land. And then to his crew, he says, I'm pretty sure there isn't anything for 35, maybe 40 miles at least. Wonder if you came from another ship. Then he looks back down at you, and his eyes soften in the corner. You're welcome to stay here if you want, for however long it feels right to you. Or you can fly off now if you prefer. And then he waits for you to kind of answer or choose.
Stay here if you want. Stay here if you want.
He smiles so broadly. He gently scoops you up in his hands and places you on his shoulder and begins to walk to the captain quarters to find you a soft place to rest. This is where you would end up calling your home for the next 30 years until he finally was able to find someone to transform you mostly back to your humanoid form. Before he steps inside with you, he calls over his shoulder to the crew. Pirate with a parrot, can you imagine a ridiculous thing? 12 years ago, 21 miles northwest of Waterdeep. It's been raining for 3 days. The human man on deck, the sloop, still whistles a tune as he hauls in another dredging net. His massive captain's hat, a recent gift from his niece, shields most of his face from the rain, but his huge beard is darkened with water. He looks down at the bits of debris in the most recent net, a few saturated wood pieces, a fish he quickly tosses back overboard, and what looks like a rotted boot. He calls over his shoulder to a soaked, disgruntled-looking Minotaur, standing a few steps behind him. I have to be getting closer, and I can feel it. The man at the tavern said that the ship sunk 15 miles west and 14 miles north of Waterdeep. Harlequin, check my math, please. An elderly dwarven woman sticks her head out from the captain's quarters. I keep telling you we're off by 0.518 miles, you stubborn ass. The captain grins, throws another net overboard, and watches it slowly sink. Down at the bottom, and approximately 0.518 miles away, the ocean floor is teeming with life. A school of bluefin tuna dart in and out of the kelp, small crustaceans scuttle in and out of crevices on the floor, and sharks hunt through the wreckage of an old ship. The salty water has corroded away at a lot of the ship over the last 50 years, and the bodies of its former crew have long been scattered by the currents and scavenging animals. Well, except for one. One skeleton remains, held together by the magic weave, tied to the figurehead. Celia, will you describe Cal for us?
Will do. So Cal has now been, degraded to a skeleton. She's slightly green from being underwater for so long. She's got a couple barnacles attached to her bones, just really beat up, and kind of waving in the water is just like some seaweed that's fallen. So it looks like hair, but it's not really, just flowing, just happened to land on her head at some point while down in the water.
I love that. So cool. So today doesn't feel special, Cal. It feels like the day before, which felt like the day before, which also felt like the other 18,250 days before. It's hard to keep track of passing time down here unless the sun is particularly bright one day. Panic attacks from being stuck alone at the bottom of the ocean subsided after a few years. Claustrophobia that threatened to choke you from the constant intense pressure of the water around you eventually passed too. Now your mind just feels like a numb buzzing. You stopped feeling the water move over your bones. You stopped hearing the currents move past you. Give me a perception check.
Sure. 21.
You guys are killing it. I'm loving this.
Guys, we can't use all the good ones up front.
I know. We need to save them for
My perception's pretty good. I think being underwater for so long has given me kind of good perception, but we'll see. We'll see.
That's all
might
I've
be
been
using
doing
those
for
words later.
years. Is looking at stuff.
True.
So it's murky down here. It is either dusk or a cloudy day up on the surface, so not much light is traveling down to you. But with that perception check, you are able to make out across the way, about 60 feet from you, there's something moving. There's a figure of some sort, something that isn't usually here. You see that it's a figure that's decently large, struggling with some object, like a net, that's caught on something else. What do you do?
I don't think there's too much I can do because I feel like I'm strapped to the front of the ship that's been sunken. So I'm going to turn to my fish friends and be like, what's going on over there? It's like I'm just talking to myself, really, because there's nothing really around me.
So you start talking to your friends, the fish that are not there, that are kind of darting in and out, maybe at a little bit of a distance, chatting up the seaweed, and like a couple minutes pass as you watch this figure eventually get their net free. And then you kind of see it turn towards you and like notice like the wreckage of the ship finally, and start heading your way. Give me a history check, and I'm going to warn you, it's a very high DC, which I will explain in a second. There's a
That's
reason.
fine. 14.
Okay. So Cal, as you said, is a reborn. She was killed and then reanimated by a necromancer a long time ago. When reborns are reborn, it's rough on their mind. They often lose a lot, if not most, of their past lives' memories, and will just get like random little bursts of things that break through when they are doing a particular skill or maybe smell a particular smell. But this issue with retaining memories is not exclusively contained to just their old lives. And they can sometimes lose some of their reborn memories too, as just things are a little fuzzy. And unfortunately, this is one of those times. Cal, you've thought about this moment regularly over the last 12 years, trying to piece together the missing elements. But everything in this moment is frustratingly fuzzy. You remember the feel of your bindings being cut and then quickly replaced by a net scooping you up. How your bones kind of felt bruised from the net digging into places that hadn't felt anything but ocean water for 5 decades. But what you remember most are the eyes. Warm golden brown eyes speckled with green, impossibly big feeling, telling you you're safe now, and that if you want, you never have to go back in the water again.
That works for me.
You're like, deal.
Yes.
Present day. X nautical miles due west of Waterdeep and X nautical miles north of the Corn Archipelago. On board, the ocean's call. The smell of brine fills the air as a cool evening breeze weaves through the captain's quarters from an open window. Although strong enough to gently ruffle your clothing, the fresh air does little to dry the fever sweat from the captain's face as he lies in his bed in front of you, dying. It's been 5 days since the last crew member passed from this sickness, marking the 6th death in under 2 weeks. 4 days since you realized the unusual illness was no illness at all, but a curse that plagued any person who had touched the trident acquired during a recent raid of a merchant vessel. The trident crafted of coral by Umberly, the goddess of oceans, great queen of the seas, or to sailors experienced in her particular brand of malicious pettiness, the bitch queen. 4 days since Captain Bronzebeard had grabbed the trident and flung it into the sea, knowingly dooming himself to the death to protect his remaining crew. Tonight, as the sun sunk below the distant horizon, the captain called the crew to his side. He went in batches to try to not overwhelm him. Harlequin, Gummy, and Magnus, the other members of the crew, had gone in first. Emerging later with tear-streaked faces, they wordlessly resumed their posts at the helm and watch so you four could go and say your goodbyes. When you first entered his room, Bronzebeard had sat up and gone through a list of logistical items with you. He showed you lists of contracts and how to figure out the new merchant shipping routes when they were altered, lectured you on the pros and cons of different leadership styles to help you pick the next captain, and iterated the importance of changing your underwear daily, even if you were tempted to push it just a little bit longer. Eventually, he trailed off, and you all sat in silence except for the sound of salt water gurgling in his lungs with each of his labored breaths. And your minds had drifted back through your memories to the day you joined the crew of this larger-than-life man. Suddenly, he breaks the silence. Ringo, be a dear and get me my book. And he points to the journal that he's been carrying for years. As you hand him his journal, he smiles at the feel of it in his hands. Hundreds and hundreds of pages filled with the story of his life. Never trust someone else to tell your story. You'll always get it wrong. He flips to the back cover, and it looks like he's fumbling with it for a beat before you see his fingers gain purchase and begin to slowly peel the leather away from the wooden board inside the hardcover. It pulls down an inch, then 2, and then you all notice something peeking out from between the leather and wood. A piece of weathered paper folded in half with little tears and crimps around the edges. Water begins to seep through the paper where his fingers touch it, so he quickly extends it to you all with a shaky hand. Go ahead and give me an investigation check as you look at this.
Is that for everybody or just for Ringo?
Yeah. No, you all can be looking at it. Yeah.
Ringo got a 13.
Okay.
Casey has a 15.
Cal got a 23.
Ren got a 19.
Nice. Okay. So you guys open up this piece of paper and are kind of like clustered around it, and you see that it is a hand-drawn map. You all recognize Bronzebeard's handwriting in just like places here and there around it. And with some decently high rolls in there, you actually recognize that it's a map of an island that you have anchored at a few times before, about like maybe twice, maybe 3 times a year, every year for as long as you can remember. You've never gone on land, but you notice that like the main island that it depicts is one of the Whalebone Islands. So that is what you notice on the paper, and then you kind of hear Bronzebeard clear his throat again. And he says, "That there, that'll take you to my most treasured possessions, invaluable pieces that I've collected for hundreds of years. They're all yours now." And then he looks at each of you in turn, pride and a little sadness in his eyes, and he opens his mouth to speak again, but a body-wrenching cough tears through him. Salt water and sea foam bubble from his mouth, and his suntanned flesh undulates like rippling water. Suddenly, a wave of warm golden magic fills the room. Everyone give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
Ringo, what'd you get?
6.
Ren?
Oh, sorry. I was reading something. Okay, is this something I can see? I have to be able to see it to get advantage. I mean, it's a light. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. It's still just a 12. It's bad either way.
Cal.
Hold on, I rolled the wrong thing. You said Dex saving?
Yeah.
Okay, 26.
Okay. Daisy?
Oh, I clicked the wrong one as well. It's the same thing. I got a 9.
Okay. So everyone but Cal, you are knocked off of your feet and kind of pushed back a little bit from the bed. You are all kind of blinded by this golden glow that had just erupted through the room, and your eyes take a moment to refocus. But when you do, you see Captain Bronzebeard's body is gone. It's reduced to nothing but a puddle of seawater.
I start looking around the room. Is he hiding somewhere? He does weird stuff sometimes.
Go ahead, give me a
he can't
perception check.
He can't have just disappeared. Like, that's not great. That's a 10.
You don't see anything around.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that water.
Daisy, honestly, she just drops to her knees because this is clearly not the first time she's had what is essentially a family member be afflicted with something she can't understand. She even studied and has removed curse, and even that didn't seem to work in these last few days. Yeah, so she's just distraught. Yeah.
Ringo's really upset, and she's gonna go over to the bed where Bronzebeard was laying and just forlornly say, "Stay with me, stay with me," and just pat the bed. Just like really upset. You know, she knew him for 30 years. They were best friends.
Yeah, and I think Cal would be just in a state of shock, just kind of like keeping back from like the bed and from everyone, just kind of like muttering to herself.
Even though Ren finds nothing, she's just like continuing to look. She's like, this doesn't. He's gonna be here somewhere.
You all struggle to process this, understandably. Even though you kind of knew an end was coming, it feels very sudden. And as you guys are processing things in your own ways, through your own lenses, you feel something has changed. Each of you feel different. So everyone go ahead and roll me just a flat, like a normal D20. And this is just going to decide what order we're going to go in to kind of explore this. So, Ringo, what did you get?
11.
Okay. Ren, what did you get?
10.
You guys are gonna be like really clustered together.
Yeah.
Cal?
5.
Okay. And Daisy?
2.
2.
Wow.
2. We're all shook. There's where the low rolls are at.
Rolls already.
It's okay. There's not going to be any combat in this. It's totally fine.
Of course, strange curses, islands with treasure. One of us has already died and come back. It's fine.
Okay, so first will be Ringo. Give me a D4 roll.
Ooh, that's a 1.
Okay. So you are, sitting next to his bed. And he had kind of like next to it, he had a mirror that was mounted on the wall where he would check and like groom his beard. It's supposed to be for shaving, but he never shaved. So it's kind of just like right there. And you catch a glimpse of your reflection in the mirror and you kind of do a double take because your eyes are now a brilliant golden brown with green flecks throughout.
Oh.
You now have blind sight to a range of 10 feet. Within that range, you can effectively see anything that isn't behind total cover, even if you're blinded or in darkness. Moreover, you can see invisible creatures within that range unless the creature successfully hides from you. And then you also have advantage on perception checks.
That's
Dang.
So crazy.
Wow.
That is really
You're gonna
crazy.
see everything.
And also appropriate for my characters. That's great.
You're gonna have with all of the awesome perception you already have, this looks so cool.
The funny thing is that I have all this great perception and no ability to communicate it to anyone.
Even
Ringo
after all
sees
these years, we
all.
don't. Yeah.
Nonverbal communication is important.
Just like rapidly jumping in front of them.
Like bobbing head.
Ren, you are next. You're going to do a D4 roll, and then if you get a 1, we're just going to re-roll.
Sure. Hey, guess what? That was a 1. Hey, guess what? That's a 2.
Of course.
Okay, 2. You are searching around the room, and you kind of start to panic, and I don't know if Minotaurs sweat, but you are sweaty in this moment, I'm just going to say. Like kind of panicking.
Fur's getting matted.
Yeah, it's getting matted down. And for a brief moment, your skin starts to feel too tight. Like that feeling after a shower when like the water evaporates off, like that kind of sensation before you put lotion on. And you look down at your arms and like through the fur, the skin looks thicker and it's like a little golden toned. And it looks a little tougher than before. And you are now resistant to piercing and slashing damage.
What?
Well, that's pretty cool. It's okay, piercing and slashing?
Yeah.
All right.
Good thing for the pirate life.
Yeah.
Does that stack with me being a barbarian? Just curious.
So it basically would give it to you, I guess, outside of rage.
Yeah,
really.
outside of a rage. No, it's still helpful because it works outside of a rage.
Yeah, you just wouldn't have to worry about raging. Like if someone, I don't know, like if someone snuck up on you and you didn't have a chance, or if they went first, you would get it in there. Yeah.
Just gotta try and see what I can get.
Yeah, right? We'll just see as the night wears on. Maybe I'll be like, you know what? Screw it. You get quarter damage now.
Is that additive? Is it multiplicative?
Right.
Cal, go ahead. Give me a D4, and hopefully you get either a 3 or a 4.
Okay, that's a 1.
This always happens when I have little tables like this.
All right, that's a 2.
That's what I got.
Okay, hold on. All right, that's a 3.
Sweet.
Are you
Guess
sure
I know
just
which one
like
I'm
a die
getting.
counter?
We should have just gone in order. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Evidently, yeah. You gain resistance to all psychic damage as you feel this protective barrier of almost like a thick, like your skull gets thicker around. In addition, you learn the telekinesis spell. You can cast the spell without using a spell slot once per long rest. You can also cast the spell. I don't think you don't have spell slots, do you?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. And since you don't have a spell casting ability already, you get to choose if you're going to use intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. Which I'm guessing for you would be probably charisma?
Yeah, charisma.
These have all weirdly lined up with our characters.
It's true.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really weirdly. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually is not me just DM fudging.
That's lucky.
All right.
Should I
Daisy,
roll?
I'm not going to make you just roll.
We're going to be here until you hit a 4.
We will sit here all night.
We can only sit here till 4.
We will sit here till 4.
Daisy, you are really upset. And as you are kind of crying and trying to process your grief, your brain all of a sudden kind of clicks into focus, and you feel huge fangs grow in your mouth and large spines sprout down the center of your head and down your neck. Now, as a bonus action, you can manifest a frightful presence. Each creature of your choice that is within 120 feet of you and aware of you must make a wisdom saving throw that's equal to DC 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your charisma. And if the creature fails, they are frightened of you for a minute. And they can redo their save at the end of their turn. And you can do this equal to a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. And I do have this written down, so I'm not expecting you guys to have gotten that like flawlessly.
Okay, well, that one doesn't match up because Daisy's adorable.
Daisy's adorable.
It's the only one that doesn't.
You be that Jurassic Park dinosaur that just like
It's like it's so cute and all of a sudden so scary.
Adorable. Yeah.
Frighteningly adorable.
Yes.
I love it.
As you guys kind of continue process, well, do you react to this at all? Do you talk to each other? I guess I should say.
Ren's definitely like holding up her arms and being like just like trying to figure out what's going on because she can't like see it under her fur, but she can feel that there's a difference.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think Cal would even notice like anything really different in the moment, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it would feel like a thicker skull.
I was like, Ryan's tapping her skin, I'm tapping my skull.
I mean, Ringo is basically just looking in the mirror, just like, but my eyes are weird. What? What's going on?
All right. Yeah, Daisy's at first confused because the spikes coming out of her head first. Like,
I think my focus is more on Daisy. I'm like, what is going on
Is
over
that
there?
like permanent visually? Like, can we see that?
You guys can see it, but it's something that like Daisy can choose to activate or not. So she does not always perma have spikes.
All right.
And things.
Oh, okay. So
you
yeah.
can like choose to activate it and then drop it.
Okay.
And you can activate it. What do you guys have? Like a 3 proficiency bonus? Is that
I
what you
think
guys
so,
are at?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do it like 3 times.
At least on the onset, didn't know like it's uncontrollable. So she like her braids come undone and her hair falls in her face. She's like, wait a second, and she's brushing the hair out of her face. She goes by her mouth and notices that there's fangs there, and then they quickly snap up, and she tries to tidy herself up quickly. Yeah.
You guys have been hit with a lot. You have like the passing of Bronzebeard, your whatever these are that have appeared. And so you guys are kind of sitting there processing your grief, your confusion, this map that you've been given. Who has the map, by the way, just so I know where it is? What do you think would have
I
it?
think Ringo was too.
Yeah, probably Ringo, because Ringo was the closest.
The journal?
The journal, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So you guys are in there. It was already kind of dusk when you went in to be with him. So the night continues to darken on. And as it does, Gummy, who is a bearkin, enters the room with a tray of food for all of you. He's this massive brown bear wearing a much too small shirt and a little sailor's hat. And he smiles sadly at each of you as he passes out the bowls of stew that he made. Then he wordlessly changes the sheets in the captain's bed. Gwen put Magnus to bed a couple minutes ago. She and I will take care of the ship. You just take time. Gwen said we'd talk next steps in the morning. Night. And then he heads out. You all feel like it is too final, too real to leave the captain's room to head to your own beds for the night. So you kind of curl up in chairs or on the floor for the night, or his bed too, whichever. What does everyone think about as you kind of like try to drift off to sleep and kind of crash from the exhaustion of everything that's been going on? How about I'll make Ren go first. What's on Ren's mind?
Well, I think she's just sitting like against a wall, like she's soldier background, like used to being uncomfortable. So like sleeping on the floor or whatever is not going to be hard for her. I think she's reeling from the loss of like a leader, of like, who are we going to follow now? Like he's the one who always ran the ship and told us where to go and told us what to do, and I know I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in charge of everybody. And like I just can't, and he's gone. So I think that's what's going through her mind.
How about Ringo? What's Ringo thinking about?
Ringo is basically going through all of it. You know, basically Bronzebeard was Ringo's best friend and constant companion for, you know, most of her life. So she's angry, but she doesn't know who she's angry at. She's curious about the map, but she's like feeling angry and vengeful and like wanting to figure out how this trident happened and like uncover the mysteries. But she's like really strongly motivated by the anger that she's feeling, trying to process all of this grief. It's like kind of like intermingled together, you know. And then she's looking at herself in this mirror, and she's looking at these eyes that are of this her best friend, someone who is really familiar to her, and she doesn't see him. She doesn't see the kindness or the wisdom or the intelligence. It's like he's there, but he's gone too. And so that emptiness really, like, you know, feeds her grief and yeah.
Yeah. Daisy?
Yeah, Daisy's resting sort of in her elven sort of trance-like state and meditating. Really that, again, like she left on her quest because she spent her whole life trying to cure people, specifically her parents, and she has all these skills that should work. And she can't protect another parental figure. And she's wondering, is she's not devout enough? Is it actually personal, or is she just caught up in something? And she doesn't know who she is if she can't be healing people, because she's made that her cause and it's been failing over and over again. So does she stop, or does she try and save who's left?
Cal, what are you thinking about?
So Cal's kind of just like leaning up against the wall, just still holding the bowl of soup or the gruel, just because she doesn't eat. So she's just kind of holding on to it, kind of looking off into the corner. With a fractured state of mind, she's trying to wonder what's going to happen going forward, because Bronzebeard and Cal were more of like kind of like the goofballs. They were always playing shenanigans on the crew. Bronzebeard was really intentional about making sure Cal spent time with the other crew members instead of just being in the crow's nest the whole time, just being alone. So just kind of in a fractured way, trying to figure out what the future is going to look like for Cal.
Yeah. You all are wrestling a lot. And eventually, just from the sheer exhaustion, you thankfully are able to get into a full trance or fall asleep or just zone out in Cal's. Because you don't sleep, right, Cal?
No.
You just kind of
I just kind of am just there.
Like hang out. You just have to be still is basically what it is.
Or I'm like just like, should I go to the crow's nest yet or not?
But yeah, eventually it's the next morning. You all kind of refocus your minds or wake up a little after sunrise to sunshine pouring in through the windows. You quietly straighten up and head out of the captain's room to meet up with the others for breakfast and to discuss the future of the ship. When you step onto the deck, you immediately notice the oppressive, artificial silence. After living with the constant sounds of the ocean, the void of everything almost hurts your ears. You next notice Gummy, the bearkin cook, and Harlequin, the Dwarven navigator, knocked unconscious, lying limp on the deck. Standing above them are 5 men dressed in simple naval uniforms, a half-orc man in a all-dark clothing, a tiefling woman dressed in long flowing robes, and an elven man in the refinery of a wealthy lord. The sun gleams off the golden threading in his silk jacket. The elaborately knotted scarf around his neck gently blows in the wind. His blonde hair is elegantly coiffed and clipped at the nape of his neck with a jeweled hair clip, and his face has been powdered to look sun-kissed. Everyone roll me a history check. It's a pretty low DC because this is someone that Bronzebeard would have talked about a lot.
Cal got a 4.
You got a 4, Cal?
Yeah.
All right, so you don't remember
Nothing
which
but
actually kind of fits.
just going on in my
Ringo?
brain.
11.
11. Ren?
I have pretty good history, but I rolled terrible, so that's a 7.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Daisy?
Daisy got a 10.
No, it happened. All the bad rolls are here.
No,
It's coming.
I told you though, at least it's a low DC, so
it
we're
was
getting the bad
check.
rolls out on
Easy.
this.
Yeah. Getting
it's
the
all
bad ones
good.
out of the way.
We'll do the group check kind of rules on this, and since half of you got it, we'll give it. You recognize the man standing in front of you as Lord Gustav von Holtz. Not only is he and his family regularly in the newspapers, but Bronzebeard often targeted von Holtz's ships and ranted about how von Holtz was the perfect example of a person with influence for all the wrong reasons. He was born into a wealthy family that has influence all across Faerun. Although all of their industries are not inherently evil, the family has a long history of taking advantage of at-risk populations, disrespecting other cultures, and environmental recklessness, all in the name of commerce. Von Holtz claims to have been self-made, but the reality is he was given a lot of money from his dad to start ventures, and he always just somehow landed on his feet despite most of them failing. His cultivated personal brand is of a cultured outdoorsman who regularly brings back rare artifacts for his wealthy friends to see. But what that actually looks like is him partying with his friends on fancy boats while his goons go and raid and kind of desecrate sacred temples and cultural sites. You all see his body kind of straighten up into a cocky pose with his head angled in a patronizing way. Then his mouth starts moving, and you can tell he's talking, but it's still completely silent.
Hey, Gustav, your mic's on mute.
You're muted.
I'm hitting my head, trying to get the water out of it.
It goes on for a couple seconds, which is actually pretty long in real life.
Yeah.
And then he suddenly stops when you just have this dead stare back at him. And he turns to the tiefling woman and kind of waves his hand in an impatient gesture. And then the sounds of the world around you just come rushing back in. Von Holtz then kind of resumes his pose. As I was saying, I'm surprised so many of Bronzebeard's little strays survived. I figured more of you wouldn't be able to resist touching that trident, greedy little bastards that you are. No matter, we made quick work of them, and he gestures down to Quinn and Gummy. So where is he? Where's Bronzebeard, or is he too much of a coward, hiding now that he has to face the great Lord Gustav von Holtz, instead of just my innocent vessels?
What are you even doing here, dude?
Well, obviously I'm here to take you out because I'm sick of your shit.
Where's some of your shit?
Clear?
What? Well, you made it clear after you talked for a few seconds when your little tiefling was making it silent.
Yes, that it was an effective trick. That was intentional to draw your attention.
So Ringo points at this guy and is like, "Greedy little bastard! Greedy little bastard!"
That's... What are you all even? And he looks at your very hodgepodge group.
So
Where is Bronzebeard?
Wouldn't you like to know?
He pauses, and then after a couple seconds of you guys just deadpan staring, the tiefling woman kind of looks pointedly at you guys. She's been watching the whole time, very, very eye on the prize, and she steps forward and starts whispering in his ear, and then kind of steps back to her place, and he couldn't keep his hands off the trident, could he? Figures. Although, admittedly, when I planted that trident on that ship, I assumed it would just thin out his crew with it, not take down the beastly menace himself. Well, fine. Time for you all to die. Everyone roll initiative.
Ooh.
Ren, what did you get?
I got a dirty 20.
Nice. Cal?
27.
So impressive. Daisy?
10.
And Ringo.
6.
Cool. You guys are on the deck of the ship, which you guys have seen a map of. And so you guys are kind of like towards the back by the captain's quarters. You just walked out. I just have you roughly kind of clustered over there. And then there are 5 of these like naval sailors. And then there is kind of a bodyguard looking guy that is next to Von Holtz. And then there's Von Holtz himself, fancy boy. And then there is the actual like tiefling who is some sort of like magic user based off of what she's been up to so far.
So there's like 8 people total. The 5 like random kind of sailor guys, and then the 3. Okay.
Yep. So the first to go is Cal. I have you like just placed up kind of like on towards the top of the map, if that makes sense. So closest to you have like 3 of the sailors that are about 15 feet away if you wanted to go them. But everyone is within, you're like nimble as fuck, so you could get to pretty much anyone if you wanted.
Yeah. I'm gonna just pull out my short sword and start trying to go for the the closest person to me.
Okay, so I got really creative with the sailor names and I named them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Whoa.
So I'm gonna have you. I know. I'm gonna have you scoot on up towards sailor number 1.
Okay, number 1.
Because he's the closest to you.
There.
Unless you have strong emotions otherwise.
I mean, 3 was looking at me a little weird, but I will stick with 1.
That's just because of like how they were born. So don't take that.
Everyone knows 3s are that way. That's just how they are.
3s. What are you gonna do? I scooted you up 5 feet, and you are now in melee with number 1.
21 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. 8 piercing damage.
Ace. You immediately get the feeling that these sailors are not the strongest, and you do a considerable amount of damage to these little guys.
Hey guys, I think these guys are punks.
These are little punks. Anything else you'd like to do?
I'm gonna like ta-da! Like, jump backwards a little bit with my sword up in the air. I'm holding my pencil.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, and you don't provoke opportunity attacks. How far back would you like to go?
Not too far, like a couple steps, like 3 steps back. Like just enough if I need to get back in there, I can like scurry on in, but
Gotcha.
not like too far. Like, I'm not like running away.
Okay. I will scoot you back 5 feet, which actually very coolly puts you on the stairs that go up towards the helm. So now you're like posed.
Very much like
cool
a
move.
Princess Bride on the mountaintops kind of thing. Okay.
So cool.
Got it.
Just a skeleton posed up. Do you still have your barnacles? Did you keep them? Because I feel like,
I
or
just
did
kind
you
of
go with other bedazzlement?
got grown accustomed to them, so they just hang around. I kept them around.
Yeah.
And I kept the little seaweed wig too. It's kind of tied back a little bit.
I like it. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so you've scooted back a little bit. Anything else you'd like to do? Do you have a bonus action or anything that you'd like?
Nope. I'm gonna just kind of jump back and be ready for the next round.
Cool. So next up is Ren. Ren, I arbitrarily put you towards the bottom, and you are close to, once again, the ship's not that big, so you could get to technically anyone, but you have 2 of the sailors that are 10 feet away.
Okay.
Straightforward.
So the cool thing about my wolf totem is if I am raging, then any enemies within 5 feet of me, my allies will get advantage on.
Ooh.
Nice.
So can I
get in the middle of those guys?
Yeah, I want to get in the middle of literally as many as I can.
I love it.
Start to rumble in them.
Great.
Yeah, so you are now, that would be with your consent, I have scooted you up so that you are right in front of Von Holtz.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like, it's like Von Holtz is right here. His bodyguard is within melee right there. The tiefling mage is right there. And then 2 sailors are on either sides of you. But we're not going to do like flanking or anything, so don't worry about that. But you are like surrounded by 5 of them within 5 feet.
Hell yeah. I'm going to rage.
Yeah.
So whenever she goes into a rage, this is not like a magic thing, but it's just her thing. She has like a little ritual that she does with the tattoo on her hand of her rebel alliance, where she just kind of taps like a few different sections of that tattoo, and then she just like is ready to go. So let's see. I would like to attack. Do I go big or do I go for the squishy guys? I'll try to take out maybe some squishy guys. I'll go for one of the just sailors.
Would you like 3 or 4?
3, obviously.
Yeah, 3. Just stay looking at you guys. Yeah,
I'm telling you, 3 is no good.
It's no good, that 3, I'll tell you. I didn't roll great. That's a 12.
That misses 3.
Okay, well, I have
you
2
stay
attacks.
guys out of the way.
I have 2 attacks on my action. Oh, that is so much better. That's a 25.
That hits, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 12 on my D12. Plus, so that's 17 plus 2 because I'm raging, 19 damage.
Awesome. So you completely slice through 3.
Good.
And then you said 19?
Yep.
And then you continue on and do some additional damage to the bodyguard who is like right next to 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
Good follow through.
I just give him a look like, you're next.
You're next. Okay.
But that's everything I can do because that's my bonus action.
Awesome.
Just jumping in to clarify, the wolf totem is advantage on melee attacks specifically, not all types of attacks.
Okay.
Just in case anybody was hoping to get advantage on a range thing.
God, is
Appreciate
that
it.
you?
I'm sorry.
Thanks,
tell us.
producer.
I play a wolf.
I'm glad that, because I do not, so thank
Actually,
you.
the wolf told him you can't do that.
Well, actually, guys,
He doesn't do
I just have to come in here and let you know
Actually,
that based on my previous GM and her long storied history of D&D experience okay. All right, I'll be out. I'm going to check on the audio soon, though. Don't worry, I'll be right back.
Thanks, Scott.
Everyone quick, touch their mics. Okay, so yeah, you cleave into the bodyguard with your second attack. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I think that's all I can. I can just give him a look.
So next is the mage. So she is going to step a little to the side, just so she gets a clean line of sight. And she is going to send a guiding bolt straight forward at Daisy.
Oh no.
That's rude.
So she's gonna make a.
Can't do that to Daisy. That's her thing.
Yeah, I'm
Can't
very
do her thing
intimate with
against
that.
herself.
Yes.
Are your fangs out yet?
I know. It's like the spikes are coming out. Spikes are out. They're unleashed.
She's not used to it yet, but I don't know. Might get involuntary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does a 23 hit?
Yeah.
Does a 23 hit?
Well,
Guys,
something
it's not
about
a
that.
crit, so we're fine.
Okay.
My goal is just to not. I purposely borrowed my husband's dice, which are not good. So
Wow. Well, now you're blessing them.
Yeah, that's all that's going to happen is you're going to make him good dice.
goal a 6 or a 1 on these. Okay, it's a 6.
Oh.
It's a 1, I think.
Sorry.
I can see them from here.
No, I think that one just has 2 1s.
Yeah.
Okay, you take 20 radiant damage.
Oh.
Dang.
I certainly do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
That
then the
changes
next
things.
attack roll made against you is going to have advantage until the end of the mage's next turn.
And Guiding Bolt's a good
What?
spell.
What is Daisy ever done to you?
Why?
You know, Sometimes the bolt just guides.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
That bolt was guided for sure.
With that is the mage's turn. So next up are, so Von Holtz is technically next, and he has a feature, well, he's not really next. He rolled next, and he has a feature that his allies can choose to use his initiative or not. And so his bodyguard and all of the sailors chose to use his initiative because they rolled poorly. So next up are the sailors, actually. So number 1 is going to scoot forward and be up here with Cal, who just slashed at him. And so is actually number 2. He's going to scoot on up.
Number 2 was bad news too.
Yeah. Then, let's see, 3 and 4 are going to stay where they are because they are within melee and they don't want to take an opportunity attack, but 5 is going to scoot on up and is now in melee with Daisy and Ringo. And then they are going to take their attacks. 2 on... Actually, where they are right now, we'll just have 1 go on each. So we're going to have number 1 go onto Cal for attack. That is only going to be, I don't know what your AC is. Does a 17 hit for you, Cal?
Yeah, it does.
That's going to be 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
Then number 2 is going to slash out at Ringo for 16 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. And they do 9 piercing damage. And then 5 is going to lash out at Daisy. And yeah, I think I'm guessing that hits a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, it has advantage on you. I just realized too. Did not
great.
crit though. So that's going to be 8 damage, piercing damage. Then Von Holtz, for his turn, is going to use his action to command 2 people to take attacks. He has kind of like a leadership ability on there. And they get to take their attacks with advantage. So they're going to... He's going to command 5 to attack again, and 4. Oh, I forgot to do 3 and 4 on run. So 4 is going to take its attack, 2 attacks on run for that. So, okay. So we're going to say 5 is going to go after Daisy first. For an 18 to hit. And that's 6 damage for Daisy. And then Ren, you actually have 2 people, 3 attacks coming your way. But you're beefy. You'll be fine. A 20 to hit.
For me? Sorry.
Yeah,
that hits.
Okay. A 18 to hit.
Yeah.
And a dirty 20 to hit.
Yep. Hopefully I'm halving the damage so it doesn't make a huge difference.
It will be. Yeah, it's all piercing, so.
Good. Great. Wonderful.
Excellent.
Wow.
He's got that thick skin
Weenie baby
too.
people don't have magic weapons. You're fine. 22 damage, Ren.
22 total?
22 piercing, yeah.
Is that,
So then-
do I half that?
Yeah, then you'll have
Okay.
it. Yeah. That's them. And then it is the bodyguard's turn. And Ren is right in front of him. So he is going to lash out and attack recklessly. 17 to hit. Oh, no,
Yeah.
18 to hit. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh wait, so 18? No, that doesn't hit.
Oh, 18?
No.
Yeah.
It's Scarce One.
That's my lucky
Yeah,
number.
18 actually weirdly doesn't hit, but 19 does.
And that's 26 slashing damage, so half to 13.
Wonderful. Man, Barb's rule. This is great.
I know, you're just sitting there just...
Taking so many attacks, and I'm like, cool, this is great. Let's go.
I see no issue. That was them. That was sailors. So next up is Daisy. So you have one of the sailors like directly in front of you in melee. What would you like to do?
Okay.
Is it one that she would have advantage on because of me or no?
No. Nope.
Okay.
No.
Too far away.
No one's gotten a chance to move up yet to take advantage of those.
Yeah, I wasn't
Right.
totally tracking where everyone was.
You're good.
So Cal's been hit a little bit. And Ren's been hit quite a bit.
I think everyone's been hit.
I'm at 31 out of 55, so I'm not like super worried about.
I think mine was
me.
8, so I'm at 30 out of 38. So
I've been hit by quite a
Yeah,
lot.
you kill yourself. I think.
You're looking a little worse, I think.
Yes. I'm just wondering
Heal
if
thyself.
I heal
Yes.
and then heal, then heal. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So what I'm going to do is heal myself with a Preserve Life spell. It's my Channel Divinity replacement, so I just get 25 hit points. I'm just gonna suck all that up.
That rules.
Wow.
Yep. I could spread it out, but I'm not going to. So,
Not today.
'cause I need it. That is my action. As a bonus action, I do want to stay in the mix, but I think I am going to. Is there a place where I can get into that advantage melee with people? So I can do a phase step, so I can get around anywhere on the. Well, not anywhere, 30 feet.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would like to
Very
get
nice.
into the middle of a few.
So where you
Sailors
could
probably,
go.
yeah.
Oh, you want sailors? So yeah, because like right now, Ren is kind of standing like in a little bit, like they're almost like in a little square around her
Right.
to a certain
Okay.
extent. So you could get into melee with one of the sailors. One of them's down, so you're good on that. So there's the one sailor that's up, or you could go kind of like Misty Step or Face Step onto the other side of Von Holtz, which would put you in melee with Von Holtz, the bodyguard, and the mage, who are all in that advantage area too.
Yeah, it's a melee. I don't know if I could get all three of those. This could be nice. Either way, I'm gonna step into range of those the three named characters.
Okay.
And as an autumn Eladrin, let's say the bodyguard and the mage, they must take a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw
Okay.
to prevent being charmed by my wonderful self. Yes.
So charming, the fangs in particular.
Yes.
Yes.
Extra charm.
She's so cute, but she's also a little dangerous.
She's like
Yes.
edgy.
Yeah.
She scares me a
the bad
little.
girls.
I like it.
Okay.
It's the Disney villain effect.
Everyone is just like, oh, all right. I see what you put down. All right, the bodyguard fails, and the mage passes.
Okay. That makes sense. Wisdom, yeah.
So, like, if they're charmed by you, they don't attack you, right? Like, they just are just like, sup? What's up, right?
Yes.
Sup, girl, sup?
Yeah, until we deal damage to them, but just to take the bodyguard out for a moment would be nice.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So they just won't go after you, though, but they, like, is
Attack
that right?
everybody else. Yeah.
Yes,
But
they
they-
can attack
okay.
me. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Okay.
Just want to make sure I was getting that. He's moony-eyed looking at you. Anything else
approve
you'd
of
like to
this.
do?
Those are all. That's bonus action. I'm not going to move. But yeah, so I'm good.
Cool. So up next is Ringo.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna look around. I'm assuming that this motley crew did not just apparate onto our vessel, that there's probably another vessel that they were on and then boarded us. So I'm gonna look around and see if I can visually locate that.
Yeah, so you see that there's a dinghy that is pulled up to the side of yours of how they got over. But then there is a pretty large, decently large, larger than you guys. Your sloop is pretty small. It's deliberately small so is very fast and agile. But you see a larger merchant vessel about 120 feet away.
Okay, 120. Okay, and how far am I from the edge of the ship?
You are about 10 feet away.
10 feet away?
You do have a sailor you have two sailors in melee with you.
Okay, so if I move, then opportunity attack, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right, so what I want to do is I want to cast Find Familiar. And my familiar is a seahorse, a tiny little seahorse that I met in my journeys. And, this might basically been my little friend. So I'm going to call the seahorse in the water. Okay. And then I'm going to basically... do I need to take another action? I have a magical item that I want to give to my seahorse, but obviously the seahorse is in the water. So do I have to save an action to throw it? Or could I throw it, the item?
I would allow it to be an object interaction, but I would require, I remember Kyle looking up ones that throwing is an athletics check to see how close, if you can actually really get it to, if it's more than just a little 5 foot toss kind of thing.
It's literally a tiny feather. So it's very, very, very light and small. But I'm happy to do an athletics check too. So
yeah, let's do an athletics check just because you're tossing it over the side of the ship.
Of the ship to try to get it to the seahorse familiar.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a 15.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So you are able to kind of attach it to a small pebble or something like that to give it a little oomph. And then you are able to toss it over the 10 feet over the edge of the ship into the water.
Okay, great. Okay. So, and I believe that the familiar also gets initiative.
Yes, it'll go right after you is what we'll do.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Okay. And that's going to be my turn.
Awesome. Can your familiar go on the same when it's summoned, or can it go right away, or is it?
I think it goes on its turn.
Okay,
so
its turn would be now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay,
right
great. And so, actually don't know what its movement would be. Is it the same as my movement, or would it be
Seahorse
different?
probably has its own.
I'm guessing it has its own.
Let's look it up.
If it's Stanley, he definitely has his own. Stanley the seahorse.
Oh, do you have? Yeah. Swimming speed of 20 feet.
Classic Stanley.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Can he dash? I don't even know. Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, so
dash.
I'm gonna have him dash, and then if the other ship is 140 feet away, I'm gonna have him do 40 feet towards the other ship.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, he's 40 feet towards that other ship on there, the bigger one.
Great. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So then that is up to the top with Cal. You have two sailors directly in front of you. One is one who you hit before, and then there is two who has not been hit yet.
And I'm not near Ren, right? For that
Correct. Yeah.
advantage. Okay. I'm gonna just go back and try to hit number one with the short sword again. Then.
Celia, if you really want to, you could bonus action disengage to not take opportunity attacks to move to the ones close to me and then attack if you want to. Do whatever you want, but I'm just because I know as a rogue there's a lot of things to keep track of.
Yeah, I'm gonna disengage with these two and then try to hop into the brawling to kind of get that advantage.
Okay, so you're gonna disengage, move through. You can get right up. Do you want to do one of the sailors? Yeah, you'd probably have to do a sailor because you can't really get through to the beefies.
I mean, I'm not beefy. I'm pretty skinny.
Okay. All right.
Skin and
you
bones.
are now in melee with 4, and you have advantage in sneak attack.
Okay. And with advantage, that means I get to roll twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you get to add your sneak attack damage, which might not roll if you're doing it in D20.
Okay. 11 to hit.
That misses.
Okay. Shoot.
Did you roll with advantage on that?
Yeah, my other one was a 2. It was really bad.
But you probably looked really cool while doing it. Very.
I mean,
rakish.
I'm
lots of
flicking
audacity.
that sword around, just. But
Ren's very happy to have you here next to her.
Well, Ren, now you have a buddy.
My buddy's here.
back to back.
Yeah, we're doing the fighter stance. How far are people from the edge of the boat?
They're not super close to it. They're all about 10 feet.
Wonderful.
perfect.
I attack
Yeah.
first. Is the orc bodyguard 10 feet from the edge?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm attacking him.
Okay.
Okay, that might not hit. That's not great. 15?
Miss.
Okay. Attack him again because I get 2 attack actions, or 2,
I just want to. I'm sorry to break in again, but I just would also like to remind Brooke that she can reckless attack to have advantage on her attack rolls.
Oh.
like always.
I'm gonna
As a
do that.
barbarian.
Thank you, Scott. Can we have said I
the god
reckless
of
attacked?
D&D has spoken again.
Is that okay?
Actually, I like that guy.
Thank
he can come
you.
back at any time.
I really did want to do that like all the time, and I just forget that it exists.
Reckless attack.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 22.
Uh-huh. That hits.
Okay, so I hit him for 11
Okay.
slashing. And then as a Minotaur, I have hammering horns, which after a melee hit, I can use my bonus action to shove with my horns, and they have to make a strength save or be pushed 10 feet.
Oh, wow.
Is it contested save? What do we do?
It's my like shove DC, which is a 16, but it's a strength save. I know he's beefy, but I'm gonna try it.
He beefy boy, but we'll see. Yeah, he gets a 21.
Okay, well I'm just gonna attack him again,
Okay.
recklessly.
It was already reckless. You don't
Too
have to-
reckless.
I know, but I just in my brain I was like, I literally already forgot. 16?
Nah, that misses.
Yeah. Well, that round stunk. That's my turn. Unless I can resituate without taking opportunity attacks to help my friends with the advantage. That would be the only thing that I would do.
You're pretty much in the maximum anyways. And there's no real way to get out without, like, you're in it to win it with because of opportunity attacks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's no really place to do. Yeah. All right, awesome. Next is the mage. She is going to, all of a sudden she disappears, and she is up on now the helm, which is like, I don't know if you guys remember that. It's about 10 feet like up from where you guys are, and on like the other side of the ship from where she was before. And she is going to snipe down at Ringo, who is now below her with her guiding bolt. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. And that will be 14 radiant damage. And then anyone who attacks you will have advantage until the end of her next turn. And next is going to be the sailors. I'll start with 4 because they're easy. They're right in melee with Ren. So they're going to take an attack on Ren with their sword.
Okay.
And they have advantage since you did reckless attacks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That guy crit, but these guys are kind of weenies, so don't worry too much. They only have 1d8.
I'm only gonna worry a little bit.
Just a little bit. 9. So that's going to be 10 piercing and then halve to your 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that guy. Then Cal's no longer there, so 1 and 2 are just kind of standing off to the side by themselves. So they're going to move forward because Ringo's the closest. And 1, 2, and 5 are in melee with Ringo. So we'll see here. Got a 16 to hit.
Hits.
Ooch.
That's a 17 to hit. And an 18 to hit.
Also hits.
Becca, can you go get some worse dice or something?
Yeah. His dice aren't
The good ones are over there. I'm not even using them.
Whatever dice you're holding are good dice.
Mm-hmm.
They only have 16, 17, 18, 19 on them.
Yeah, they're just like repeated on
Yeah.
there. So that's 20 piercing damage for like the 3 attacks altogether.
And Ringo is down.
Oh no.
What does Ringo think about kind of as she loses consciousness and falls to the ground?
Well, she used her bonus action on her previous turn to psychically communicate with a seahorse to continue on and attach the token to the enemy vessel. as she's losing consciousness, she reaches out to the seahorse to kind of just encourage her familiar. She's thinking about her crewmates and wishing that she could have done more. Thinking about how angry she is about like finding out who planted this trident and how she feels helpless to do anything about it. And then she kind of drifts off.
So that is the sailors. They are going to move up and be kind of next to Al with their remaining movement. They're staying a little back from Ren because Ren is real big and beefy. So 1, 2, and 5 are now kind of up against Cal. But they've already gone, so they can't like attack or anything like that. So next is going to be the bodyguard, who's going to go after Ren's the only one there that is not, he's not charmed by. He's in love with Daisy. Thinks that she's extra special.
I understand.
Oh no, wait, is she still, or is he still because he was hit with damage?
Yeah. Yes.
It's not if you're damaged by the person who cast it, right? It's just if they take any damage at all?
If they take damage by my allies, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It was just a bonus that I wanted to get in there and it just happened to.
Yeah, great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think you're charming.
You are very charming. And he still actually kind of thinks it too. He's going to go after Ren just because Ren's been like wailing on him. So, yeah. So the first one's going to be a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
That one's going to hit too. That's a 24 to hit.
Becca, I know you have an advantage. I can't yell at you.
It's not my fault.
Nice.
Oof.
I can take it.
Oof.
How are you gonna run part 2 before all
Don't
down?
oof though. Don't oof though.
No, we're not. We're not that. We just like to roam the seas. Leave us alone.
That's 28 slashing damage, then half to your 14.
Love it.
I know,
Wonderful.
that's why I oofed. I 10'd and I 12'd, and then I added to it.
This is going to be the shortest episode in Talltale Tavern history.
Which one of us pissed you off, Becca?
Which one of you hasn't is the question.
I thought the episode with the dragon was difficult. My God.
This is all an elaborate ruse to get Becca's enemies to play with her.
I brought the bad dice, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, Ren looks bad. Ren looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, with that, Von Holtz is going to use his action to once again command 2 of his allies to take attacks with advantage. They already had advantage on you anyways because of your reckless attack.
Who cares? They already had it.
Yeah, so that means nothing.
So it means nothing. I should have reckless because it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean,
It means I
might as
made the
well.
right decision. Actually, Scott did in the editing booth, but yeah.
No, it was you.
Producer.
It was you.
Okay, 20 to hit.
Yeah. Can you
This is from
please
the
roll below a
bodyguard.
16? Please roll below a
Like
16.
she goes, does a 20 hit?
What if a 16 is my AC?
Was
then,
20
yeah,
hit?
the guard hits too. That's like a 22.
Okay.
You just hear my bones start rattling.
If you do 24 damage, I'm down. Even if it's half.
I don't think I can get to that.
She says.
Actually,
That's exactly 24 damage.
shut up.
Ren is down.
Yeah, okay, so Ren's down, Ringo's down.
Ren's down.
So that is going to be Daisy's turn.
All right. Well, time to bring out the big guns, which is a mass healing word. We
love to see it.
I mean, I could attack because that's really what I'm made for. But everybody here, because it's 6 creatures, and I'm not going to choose anyone but my friends. Oh my, that's poor rolling. Gets 14, or healed for 14.
Wonderful.
So they would, except you guys see
What?
the mage
Counterspell.
hold out a hand. And so I've never used Counterspell before. So I'm going to need a little. So it says.
If it's third or lower, it's fail. It's a third level spell. So I just.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you feel your magic just kind of fizzle.
I can. Oh my.
Oh no, Daisy.
Is there anything else you're going to do on your turn, Daisy?
That's actually just a bonus action.
You gotta take out that mage.
Yeah, but I mean, unfortunately, I am in melee range, so I can't cast any ranged attacks at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you did cast a spell, so it'd have to be like a weapon for your action of some sort, right? Or an ability.
A cantrip.
You can. Oh yeah.
Or cantrip.
Oh yeah, I've got a cantrip. I'm gonna use. She's gonna explode in a little bit of a word of radiance. All my enemies in 5 feet must take a con 16 saving throw.
Awesome. That is the bodyguard. You said 5 feet?
Yes.
Okay. Von Holtz and the bodyguard are both in there. So the bodyguard fails, and then Von Holtz passes.
Okay, so it's 6 damage to the bodyguard. Radiant. I'm kind of stuck in there. Yeah, because I used my bonus action, so I can't teleport again. So, yep.
Mm-hmm. Next is Ringo. Go ahead, give me a death saving throw, please.
And a 17 save.
Yes. Awesome. And then your familiar will just keep moving. So it'll get another 40 feet closer on there.
Correct.
Awesome.
Yes.
After that, it is up to Cal's turn. Cal, you have 4 soldiers within melee of you. And then you have Von Holtz and the bodyguard are about 10 feet away from you. And then the mage is like across the way.
Is the mage like 60 feet away from me? Within 60 feet?
Yeah, she's within 60 feet.
Can I try to use telekinesis to blast her off the boat? My telekinesis
Read me
power?
telekinesis.
I gain the ability to move and manipulate creatures by objects by thought. I can move a huge or small creature, make an ability check with the spellcasting ability contested by the creature's strength check. If I win the contest, I can move the creature up to 30 feet in any direction.
Amazing. Yeah, you would
30
be
feet
able
rules.
to. You'd be able to, like, if she loses on it, she would be like blasted backwards off of the ship.
Yeah, that's what I would like to try to do.
Awesome. The mage got an 18.
24.
Nice. You blast. What is your telekinesis like? I know it's probably technically invisible, but what would you like it to look like as you just blast her backwards off of the ship?
I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of like almost like a wave, like a current type look, swirling, kind of going back and forth, swirling, and then it like pushes.
Oh, I love that.
Love that.
Just like you were pushed through the current for
just
years.
pushing.
I like that.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Mage be gone, man. She blasted back.
Dang.
Excellent
Hell
work.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good job, Cal.
Yeah.
Finally, success!
Let's get this ball rolling.
She looked at me funny too many times. Says, "I'm sick of you."
Momentum. We have momentum, and now good things will come. Good things will
Yeah.
come.
Winning, guys!
We won the game.
Producer Scott would just like to come in and add that also with telekinesis, the target is restrained until the end of Celia's next turn in case the mage was going to try to fucking float out of the water and come back.
Oh, I like
Hell
this.
yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Please give these types of tips more often.
Yeah. I just was like, in my head, I was like, I don't know, heavy robes. She's probably not swimming well.
Is she restrained underwater?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's like sinking.
So she's
she's
sinking.
That's where
Yeah.
I'm just like push her. I'm just like, just keep going down.
It's toxic.
I was down there for so long. She'll be fine.
Suffer.
I was
Listen,
there for 50
we've all been
years.
there.
We've
Literally
all
everyone
been
has
strained
been there.
underwater. Anything else you'd like to do, Cal?
No.
Okay.
Nah.
No.
Ren, give me a death saving throw, please.
Hey, that's a 10.
Awesome. So you
all you
pass
need.
that. It's all you need, man.
Good enough, baby.
Next is the mage. She just sings.
Blop, 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 blop.
And then it is the sailor's turn. They are all right there with Cal. So I'm just going to kind of go in order on them. So first will be sailor number 1. Help if I actually pulled up their stat block.
Can't these guys just get out of here already? They know they're gonna die. Just
Didn't you
run.
just see me do a really cool thing with that mage?
We've done so many cool things.
That was super cool.
I
You
died.
did do a lot of cool things.
That
was really cool.
Fall unconscious, but I did a lot of cool stuff before that.
Yeah, you did.
That's
All
very
right, that's
true.
an 18 to hit for guard number 1.
And I would like to use Uncanny Dodge for whatever the damage is going to be, please.
Okay.
Well, wait and see if it's a high.
Yeah, no, save
Oh,
it. This one's
that's
the one-
true.
That's just a 4. So save it for one of the other attacks.
That was
I rolled
4.
really low on the D8. Yeah, 4 damage on that guy's attack. Number 2 is gonna go. And that is a 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, do it on this one.
Okay. Okay.
I got an 8. So it's a 9 piercing damage, halved to 4.
Okay.
If you want to use your uncanny dodge, no pressure.
How many other people are going to be attacking me? I'll use it.
2 more.
Yeah, how many-
are within melee?
But
There's
that's like
4
high for their
sailors
attack,
right there.
probably.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
use
the
it. I'll
highest
use on
for the
that one. We'll
sailor's
have
attack,
it to
that's what I'm
4.
saying. Yeah. And then number 5. It's gonna hit for 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That's only 3 damage.
Okay.
And then that's gonna hit for 23 to hit.
Okay.
For
Jeez.
8 damage. How you looking?
About half, almost half. We're getting there.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm still fine.
wow.
Ish.
To be almost half.
Like the good
Would be
old
a
days.
dream.
blessing.
I don't have as much, flesh as some of the other people here, so
Fair enough.
Harder
fair
to
enough.
hit. I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
I keep doing like little skeleton
You've been on that Atkins.
Like
you know.
stabbing between the bones.
strapping between my ribs.
Yeah.
Goodness.
The bodyguard is going to go, and he's going to go after Daisy, who's right there in melee with him.
It's no longer charmed.
No longer charmed.
You're a little
Not that
Daisy.
charming. Yeah.
You're still charming.
You're always charming. So that is going to be a 19 to hit.
Yes, that hits. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a 20 to hit.
Okay, I need to start DMing. That's what
yeah.
needs to happen, is because then all the hits will be like 15 or lower.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you guys were exaggerating when we played the last time about Becca's rolls,
No.
but
Absolutely
No.
not.
Oh, no one prepared me. I was not prepared.
That's
like, oh, she's so fun.
20 slashing damage, Daisy.
20. Oh my
She
goodness.
is
Okay.
fun, but she is also ruthless. But it is Women's History Month. Do we not need both?
I mean, yeah, it's all good.
We can contain multitudes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes. I'm hurt.
Oh, evidently I've been doing Von Holtz wrong this entire time. Evidently he's been able to take attacks as well. All right, cool. So he is going to do both the issue orders and his rapier, because I actually read. So he is going to issue the issue the order for the bodyguard to attack again against Daisy. Yeah, it's a 20 to hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 9 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then, if you are still up, Von Holtz himself is going to go after you. So he is going to rapier you. He gets 2 attacks. 19
Yeah.
and oh shit, a crit.
Becca!
Days is going down.
Okay, yeah. So that's 17 piercing damage.
Daisy is unconscious.
With his last, as you go down, what does Daisy think of as she's dropping?
It's pretty dark thoughts. Yeah, she's just a few months ago failing her parents. Now she's just this morning she's failed. Bronzebeard couldn't heal him, and now she finally thinks that there's a path forward. And as soon as she stepped into the light, she couldn't even save the friends that she's made. She sees a wash of sunlight, and in her last moment, she prays to Lathander and hopes that the Morning Lord will guide her in the next life. Yeah.
Then there was one.
There was one.
Oh my god.
You got this, Celia. You got this, Cal.
With his second issue order, he has one of the soldiers take another swing at Cal. And that is going to be a 17 to hit.
That hits.
And that is 7 piercing damage.
Okay. I'm still up, but barely.
Daisy, give me a death saving throw, please.
That's a 10, so I'm good.
Awesome. Ringo, give me a death saving throw.
11.
Nice. And then your seahorse continues an additional
on the
40.
path.
Yeah.
Yes. Little Stanley. Yeah.
Getting
Stanley,
close on that, yeah.
Believe in
Oh,
you.
Stanley, go.
That brings us up to Cal.
Which one? I guess who's closest to me, I guess.
You've got a bunch.
Yeah.
I will say you had number 1 was the one that you hit originally. So that's the one that's like really injured.
Okay.
There are pretty much everyone else has not been touched.
Yeah. I guess I'll use short sword number 1.
Cool.
17 to hit.
Hit.
Okay.
Take that fucker out. Get
7,
his ass.
7 piercing damage.
Awesome. You slice through him and who's right next to him. And 2 also gets slashed for some damage.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to do?
Nope. I think I'm going to just kind of step back a bit too, just to kind of not be too. I mean, I'm sure I'm surrounded, but like feel not too claustrophobic about it.
Yeah, you want to disengage and scoot up a little bit? Just get
Yeah,
some
I'll
breathing room?
disengage and scooch.
Okay.
Scooch. Just scooch me a little bit, please.
Well, scooch.
Just
Okay.
Scooch you over a little bit.
Sweet. So after that that's Cal's turn. Ren, give me a death save, please.
Whew, that's 14.
Nice.
2 saves.
Then that's the mage. They are no longer restrained, but they are in heavy robes. They didn't stand a chance, man. Like they're done. They're not coming back.
All right.
Yeah. They live
Bye-bye.
under the sea now.
Counterspell that.
Yeah.
So then that is the sailors. So they are going to move up and surround Cal. Including
I wonder
the
if these are gonna
bodyguard.
hit.
This is so stressful. Like, I'm so sorry, Celia. This is so stressful.
fine.
for last month.
All right, so we'll go.
They've got
we'll do
bones to
actually
pick
the
with me. It's
bodyguard
okay.
first. Yeah, I'm just taking my my personal beef with Celia out. She didn't know we were fighting until now.
You just wanted to 1v1 is really what was going on. You're like,
You could have just invited
"Well,
me to a special thing. I would have done it with you.
I gotta take out all the other nincompoops first, and then I can fight the one I really want to fight.
Get doing business.
Real battle now.
So yeah, that's 2 21s to hit from
That
the
hits.
bodyguard. So that's 20 slashing damage from the bodyguard.
I'm like
boy.
obliterated. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. What do you think of as you go down?
I feel like I could have done more, even though I was the only one left up, and I would just feel again disheartened that I couldn't finish like something that I set out to start, or like something that we were started together. Just another thing slipping through my fingers, and the crushing, almost like ocean-like crushing weight of the failure again.
Oh.
And then I fall down into a pile of bones.
Just crumble down onto
Yeah.
it. You all lay on the deck of the ship, and as you kind of are like making your saves, and you're coming like a little bit in and out of it, you feel the hard surface underneath you. And then you don't process anything for a while. And then you do. The first thing you all notice is the sound of blood rushing in your ears. Then you notice the pain. Your bodies feel beat to hell. But you're alive. You open your eyes to see the young Hadozi child, Magnus, standing over you looking worried.
Do we know him?
Yeah, you guys, like Gummy had mentioned him earlier. He's one of the crew members. And when you guys had come out on deck, you had seen Gummy and you had seen Harlequin or Quinn unconscious, but you had not seen Magnus anywhere around.
Okay.
He's about like, he's like 5 or 6 years old. He's one of the newer members. Bronzebeard had just kind of rescued him basically from a pretty bad situation. And you all know from like previous adventures when he had been on the ship that Bronzebeard has very strict instructions with him of that if anything happens, you hide and you stay hidden no matter how bad it gets. And so it kind of makes sense. You didn't see him because he had followed Bronzebeard's orders. And you see him with these big eyes. He's like a little capuchin monkey, Hadozi, small little boy. Are you guys okay?
Ren would immediately sit up and ask, like, "Are you okay? What
Yeah.
are you okay? What's going on?"
No, I'm fine. I was on the deck with Gummy and Harlequin when they came on board and they surprised us and but I don't think they saw me and I ran under deck and I hid until I heard them go through your bodies and through the captain's room and then they left. And then I waited till it was quiet, and then I came up and I gave you guys healing potions.
You did such a good job. Good job, Mag.
Good job.
You did exactly what you needed to do. Thank you. You're a good little soldier.
I give him a little pat on the head.
I gave you guys a decent amount on there. So you guys are at full health now, but you do not have like spell slots back on there.
Did you see them leave?
Yeah,
I assume you came up after
Are they
left.
still here?
No, they left. They I saw them. I kind of peeked up right as they were getting off, and they had this like old piece of paper in their hand, and he looked really happy, and then he left on.
Okay, so even if I'm down, the seahorse works
That's what I wanted to ask
independently.
you, yeah.
Correct? So,
Yep.
and also, especially if we're out of combat,
Right.
the movement speed no longer applies. Correct? Because they're just going.
Oh, yep.
So Stanley has while we were unconscious, attached this or touched the enemy vessel with this feather, this magical feather. And what this magical feather does is, for 24 hours, the vessel that has been touched by this magical feather cannot be moved by any means. In order for it to be able to move again, it has to be touched by the feather again. And Stanley knows once he touches the vessel with the feather, he's scooting on out of there. He's like hiding or whatever in the ocean. So the enemy vessel is anchored 150 feet away for 24 hours.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Good job, Magnus. Good job, Stanley.
Good job, guys.
Ah,
Great.
Wow.
So they've left the ship, but they can't move their vessel for some reason. They don't know why, but they can't move their vessel.
Ren turns to Ringo and says, "Is that map still on you?"
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He said he took a piece of paper. I wonder if they took the map.
I think they took it.
Yeah, you check your check around and with your gear, and you don't find the map.
Do I start checking? Do I have my stuff? Like, do I have my weapon?
Yeah,
and
Just
my...
the map's gone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you can see that they pillaged some stuff from you kind of glance in. Nothing of your personal items are gone. It was more they were kind of looking for anything of interest. He's incredibly wealthy, so he has really zero interest in. And it wasn't even like he was trying to insult you guys because he thought you guys were dead, so he didn't really care.
That guy sucks so bad.
And yet I feel insulted anyway.
So I still have the map then, right?
The map is gone. The map's gone.
The map is gone. Okay.
Yeah, all of your other stuff is still there. So none of your actual gear is gone.
Okay. Thank God, my seashells are good.
So that ship was not evidently able to go anywhere. It anchored. But as soon as Gummy and Harlequin were up, which they did not get as kind of obliterated, they got you guys out of there. And you can know because you can feel the wind of the sails and everything like that. And you hear Gummy is currently up at the ship's helm, and you hear him calling. He goes, "Hey guys, Bronzebeard told me to head towards some coordinates a couple days ago, and we're getting close. But look, I don't think that's a natural storm." And you all were very understandably distracted by waking up, searching for the map, trying to figure out what happened. And you kind of turn and you see that the ship is basically right about to enter a wall of storms. A wall of storm stands directly in front of your ship. It's thick black clouds that are gathering with an unnatural speed. The wind is howling around. And the ocean is churning with violent intent, and waves are crashing against the hull of the Ocean's Call. Lightning streaks across the sky, and you all are going to have to work together to get the ship through this storm. So we are going to do a skills challenge. So this particular skills challenge is going to last 4 rounds. And I'll explain what that means in a second of how it looks like. Each round, I'm going to present a unique problem that is caused by this freak unnatural storm. And you all must come up with a solution using one of your abilities that you have proficiency in. That's one of the only restrictions I have with that. Or a skill that you have, or a spell. It can be anything that you come up with. And I only require one of you to come up with the idea per round. But if you guys want to do something together, kind of tag team it, that is totally fine as well. Each time you succeed, you're going to help get the Ocean's Call through the storm safely. And each time there's a failure, there's going to be potentially more damage to the ship. You can use any of your abilities that you want, but once an ability or something is used, no one else can use it for the next until the end of the skills challenge. Most of the time as we go through this, the DC is going to be a 15, just to kind of give you an idea of what you're shooting for. But sometimes if you guys have a super creative solution, I might lower it as a reward. Or if you guys are working together, or if there's something that's really convoluted, I might up it a little bit, just depending on the situation. Does anyone have any questions about that, or does that make sense? So we're just gonna have the 4 rounds. Only one of you has to choose what to do, but you can kind of collaborate together if you want.
Makes sense.
And I will say too, just because I know some of you haven't played with me at my table before, I work very hard to not ever say no to my players. So if you come up with an idea and it amuses me enough, I will try to find a way to make it work. So don't feel like you have to have a very traditional solution to any of these things. This is a pirate adventure after all. There should be some shenanigans that are involved. So,
all right, I just had an idea. I like it.
Good. I'm excited.
Shenanigans at night, pirates delight.
That is the saying, yes. Okay, so you guys, you're in a pretty small ship too, and so you are getting whipped around. And the wind lashes out like a living force, threatening to tear the sails apart. The ropes securing the rigging snap under the pressure, leaving the masts vulnerable. What do you do?
The mast itself is starting to break.
Is that the actual like?
It's
Is
like
that
the big beam,
the big piece
pole.
of wood?
Yeah,
I'm not good at this
it's
stuff.
a wooden pole.
Yeah, I
thing.
could just hold it though. I could just hold it in place.
So it's basically like, it's an issue with the rigging itself is getting like all whipped around, which is injuring the mast. So there's like a kind of a compounding factor on there.
Okay. I got strength. That's what I got.
I was
basically.
to say, my perception's pretty high. Could I somehow get up to the crow's nest and like use perception to kind of like help guide what I could see from the crow's nest, like shout down?
Oh,
so that we're like
okay.
not hitting the heavy portions of the storm and stuff.
Or like making sure we're not running into, I don't know, anything.
Yeah. Wait, what is your perception modifier, and then what's your acrobatics?
My acrobatics is +7 and my perception's +8.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go for it. Go do a perception check to kind of like, you're going to scale up there. This is like your home turf, basically, because you're
And
getting
then-
up.
Can I also I would like to use knowledge from a past life, because I'm like, I just recall when I back home, just the people who would look out to make sure there was no enemies coming around, like just ways that they would like be keen-eyed.
Yeah, you
okay.
are climbing up the rigging and getting up the mast to try to get a better vantage point. And all of a sudden, when some of the rain whips against your face, it just triggers this like old memory of you watching the city watch, protecting the town during a bad storm to kind of keep an eye out for any potential dangers coming in. Go ahead and give me your perception check.
All right, so that's a 20, and then I get a D6 to add to that.
Wait, was that a nat 20 or a dirty 20?
It was a dirty 20, sorry.
Okay.
I wish it was real. It was a dirty.
If it was a nat 20, it was a 20.
It's a 20, NBD. And then plus 23.
Nice. Yeah, you very quickly get up there, and even though there is like rain getting whipped around super fast, like to that point where like it hurts a little bit as it pings off of you guys, it's getting hit so hard, you are completely unfazed and you're zoned in on there, and you are able to kind of very easily see and then communicate down to everyone of where they should be grabbing the different elements to get it secured, and you are able to secure it before there is irreparable damage.
So we use perception on that round. Okay.
The ship crests a massive wave, only to plummet down its other side. Water crashes over the deck, threatening to sweep all of you guys and the crew members and supplies into the sea. What do you do? So these supplies would be like things like your crates with like food and like necessary things for survival, I should say. So they're important supplies, not just like treasure kind of shit.
Speaking of survival,
yeah.
I know. Natalie? What was your advantage, or what was your modifier on that?
I have a +8 to survival.
Oh, well, you're much better than me.
Okay.
But I think maybe that might affect this. Just because knowing how to, because I'm also proficient with survival, so maybe I could help you, like, knowing how to, like, put the ropes around, like, the really important supplies so that we know
Trap
they're
them
not
down,
going to get,
yeah.
like, lost during the voyage.
Yeah.
How big is the wave? Like how large are we talking?
So you guys it's about like 100 feet long, and it was like a full dip down. So like I'm guessing like it itself is about 100 feet or bigger, kind of a wave dip.
And then how much of an area is our supplies contained in? Like, are they like?
Oh, it's
trying to get it.
I would say like 20 by 30 maximum. And supplies isn't in the whole area. It would just be like a crate here and there kind of thing. So
Okay,
there's like, I would say like 4 crates that are kind of staggered on like the corners of that we'll say 30 by 30 just for ease kind of space.
Do you have something?
Yeah, I have gust of wind. So what I could do is I could go to one end of the boat and then just like maybe like blow the wave like away from the supplies.
Ah.
It's a 60-foot emanation. So 60 by 10. So I couldn't cover the entire ship, but I could cover a good portion of like one half of it, or I don't even know how wide it is, but I think I could cover a portion of it with the gust of wind.
While we're lashing things down, you're holding off
try
the
to
worst,
hold the water
worst
off
of
of
it.
you.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's awesome. I think if you cast that spell, what we can do is just like roll it with advantage for your survival check, which is going to be insane. Did you still want to do the survival check? Is that what is kind of like a compound? Did I understand that correctly? Or did you want to do just the spell? Either is totally fine.
I think we would be using our spell.
Might as well use it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then why
To
don't
get
you
advantage?
then for the spell, then roll with advantage because you're not having to like work as hard against the water as you are tying it.
That is not great. There we go. With advantage, we have a 25 for survival.
Yeah, you guys are able to make quick work of securing that, and then you are also able to like provide some like handholds for like to hold on to for other crew members to just kind of like literally batten down the hatches. So they are able to secure themselves onto the deck, and they do not get knocked overboard. You guys are killing it.
Okay, survival and perception. Great.
A fork of lightning strikes the mast, sending splinters of wood flying and igniting parts of the ship. The fire spreads quickly due to the storm winds, threatening to engulf the deck.
I have Wrath of the Sea, which I can expend one use of my wild shape in order to cast an emanation of basically water or like water particles. So I could do that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's not a large radius, however, so it means that I would have to like cast it and then run around.
Running water everywhere.
I have
But I'm
40
gonna
feet
do
of
that 'cause
movement.
it's
I'll
water.
hold you on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe somebody can help run me around, but like, I can do that because that's literally,
I think that's great. Yeah. I think that's a really cool use of that
It's
ability.
an ocean spray aura, essentially. So I'm gonna basically cast this. It's not a spell. It's just like using your wild shape usage. So it's like ocean shape aura.
Very cool.
That's cool.
Just for my own amusement, let's see. It's going to work regardless, but how elegant you are sprinting around the deck of this ship, getting it. Let's do acrobatics just to see, because it's all like wet on the deck, wet wood.
Sure.
Yeah, if she gets near
no
me, I'll
worries.
just pick her up and throw her.
A 9.
See if she
So
can
not
land.
great. Not
Yeah,
great.
you are slipping and sliding around on here.
that's cute.
Wet feathers, it's a whole thing. But you are successfully able to, with using that ability, get rid of the lightning.
And I have to say, I
fire
am
caused by it.
personally, Ringo is freaked out of her mind because her initial issue where she couldn't morph back out of her wild shape was a wild storm that she didn't understand. So she is, so it makes sense she's not doing well because she's completely freaked out at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the flames are out. The mast is okay? Or
That one is all good. Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
It was mostly the flames on that one is the big issue. Yeah. There were just some splinters, but the mast is really big around, so it wasn't a critical damage by any stretch.
Good.
Up ahead, you all see a landmass, just barely visible through the rain and misty air. The ocean itself seems to come alive as you get closer to it. A swirling vortex begins to form ahead of the ship, threatening to drag it under. The crew must steer clear of the whirlpool or be pulled into its deadly depths. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I feel like maybe this is a prime time for Ren to just grab the steer and just not let it take the rudders in another
Yeah.
Because
direction.
I'm assuming like with like being up at the top, would I be able to like see this, be like give some warning beforehand to kind of like help guide Ren
Sure.
in like which direction to go?
Yeah. So go ahead, roll me a. Do you want like? I'm guessing you're better at athletics than strength, right? Like you have proficiency.
I'm going to
Yep.
say that can Daisy give some guidance to that, to the athletic skill? Yeah,
Yeah,
so an extra
she'll have-
D4.
Guidance
Yeah.
and advantage from Cal calling
Sweet.
down to you with the perception.
Okay, awesome. Okay, that's a 2 for the guidance. 22 is what I got with everything.
Amazing. Did you want to do something to Ringo or?
Yes. So I am going to cast Speak with Animals and start like seeing if I can hear whale song around us to see if there's any sea creatures who could help guide us or give us a little nudge in the right direction. So I'm going to see if I can find a whale or something larger that I can pair it back
Heck
to
yes.
to maybe
That
give us
is
a little
amazing.
boost. Yeah,
Yes.
to help out because there's heroic steering and things.
Yeah, I love that so much. Roll me.
Animal handling,
Give-
please.
Yeah, give me animal handling.
Please, animal handling.
I was going to say originally give me a luck check to see if something's around, but let's do your animal handling check to see if something is around. Because that'll be better. It'll boost it up and be like better than just a pure luck check.
21.
Yeah.
She handles those animals.
She said
I will
animals,
let
I'm
you
going to
guys
handle
pick.
you.
Whale or dolphins? Do you want dolphin buddies or whale buddy?
You don't want dolphins, they're too chatty.
So you want to go with whale?
Let's go whale.
I
Let's do
think
the whales.
whale,
Yeah,
right?
that makes
I-
sense to me.
Yeah, I think when I was like trying to look around and figure out, I was like looking for something larger, maybe like to help out. So I think that's a great call. Yeah.
So I don't actually know if this falls in the shark category or the whale category, but I just the other day was reading this article about whale sharks, and they look awesome, and you can like swim with them, and they're super friendly and cuddly. So that's what appears.
Love it.
I know
Love
it's
it.
They're these big,
speckly,
like
right?
fatty little weird boys. They're great. And you just have like this school of whale sharks. And they come up and they kind of like nudge you as soon as you like, if you start to like go off course at all, they just nudge the hull of the ship and kind of guide it. And between that and the strength check and being able to like see from up in the crow's nest, you guys very deftly get around that vortex. You are beaten, exhausted, both physically and mentally, when suddenly the ship jerks violently. Everyone give me a dexterity saving throw. It's gonna be a DC 10.
Can I see this?
Uh,
I'm gonna ask you every time it's a dex save because that's what determines if I get advantage or not.
Oh no! Oh no!
Ringo saves 14.
14. Daisy, I'm guessing by that gasp, you totally saved.
Yeah, 4 does it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally bigger than 10.
DC 2.
Cal, what'd you get?
23.
And Ren?
Without advantage because you can't see a ship like stopping, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you don't
that's
see what's causing it to jerk. So I'm just saying,
yeah. It's an 18.
Okay. Yeah, you still keep your feet. Remember? Oh, Ringo, what'd you get? I forgot. 14, right?
14, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you're good. So just Daisy gets kind of whipped backwards on the deck of the ship. Does not take damage or anything like that. But you all kind of like shake and have to kind of re-get your sea legs after it's kind of a sudden change. And when you steady yourself, you see that the ocean's call is beached onto the coastline of an island. You hear birds calling to each other through the thick jungle foliage that starts after a narrow sandy beach. You see the storm is no longer on you. It is purely just like another wall and stops a couple feet out into the ocean. Your eyes go directly to a towering rocky mountain that juts up from the jungle a few 100 feet in front of you. And you immediately recognize where you are. Bronzebeard had you lay anchor by this island a few times before. It's the island from the map. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Ooh.
I'm here. I'm back. Thank you to all our players this week. Celia, Natalie, Tiddly, Brooke, and special thank you to our guest DM, Becca. Their socials can be found in the description. If you want to see the video of the episode, it'll be up on our YouTube. Follow us on Talltale Tavern Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you like us, give us one of those good 5-star reviews. Join our Discord, too. Thank you to Tyler Adelsperger for our theme song, and thank you to Zaezar for our artwork. And with that, we'll see you salty sea dogs next time at the Talltale Tavern.